first round series with the two-time defending NBA champion Los Angeles Lakers and the 7th-seeded New Orleans Hornets. With Reggie Miller and Cheryl Miller and our entire crew, Kevin Harlan with you. Our officials tonight here in New Orleans, Bob Delaney, Mark Davis, Zach Zarba. The Lakers and the Hornets, both, Reggie, have said this is the most important game in the series, and it's tonight on Easter Sunday night here in the Big Easy.
Well, for the Lakers, they could really take a stranglehold of this series if they can win tonight, potentially go home and close it out, get rest for a veteran ball club. And what did Monty Williams tell us for the Hornets? On his board, they said they have to be strong and courageous, the most important game of the season, the youngest team in the playoffs.
The Hornets won the first game in Los Angeles. The Lakers have won the last two. Bynum finding a lot of congestion inside. Here is Kobe Bryant coming off a 30-point game. Gasol couldn't find the handle, and out of bounds it goes. Lakers ball.
Phil Jackson establishing, or at least trying to establish, that low post. First play goes down to Andrew Bynum. They swarm him. Ball kicks out. Long shot by Kobe. Powell attacking the offensive glass.
New shot clock with which to work. Here comes Pau Gasol coming off his best game in this series. Out of bounds and once again off New Orleans. Everything seemed to click for the Lakers in Game 3.
Well, they finally got Powell offensively, 17 points in Game 3. But Kobe Bryant went back to being Kobe, and that's attacking and being aggressive at the offensive end.
Ron Artest has had a decent series coming off a 9-point game. The first two games for him, though, double-digit scoring. As you take a look at who's on the floor now for New Orleans, Ariza and Chris Paul with Emeka Okafor, Landry, and Bellinelli. The drive inside, and that'll count. It is Trevor Ariza. Ariza coming off a 12-point, 12-rebound Game 3.
And what did Monty Williams say? Trevor Ariza is a lot like how my playing career was. They didn't run a lot of plays for me, so where I have to get offensively, I got to be able to drive the lane and attack the slashing moves.
Lakers' last two games have been going inside to start games. Consecutive throws in. It begins again right there. Gasol finds his first two.
Well, you understand, when you have the height advantage, which the Lakers do on most nights, you've got to start inside out.
With that kind of size, why not? Chris Paul. A 22-point performance in Game 3. Game 1 at 34. Kobe, Fisher, and he finds two with a nice assist from Kobe Bryant.
And that's what Monty Williams does not want to see from his guards. Chris Paul takes a long jump shot, and that allows the guards to get out in transition. He wants the guards attacking the paint, which is going to allow the guards of the Lakers to be down low and can't get out in transition.
Bellinelli just took that shot. He's having a 31% shooting series against the Lakers. He has really struggled with his shot for New Orleans. Fisher. Bynum. All kinds of traffic inside once again, and he gets it back, and they'll reset with Kobe Bryant picked up by Ariza.
Nothing but purple jerseys on the offensive glass.
Double by Paul. Back out to Fisher. Ariza and Kobe. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Who finds Gasol, who had a terrific Game 3. It's picked up by Landry. Now here comes Chris Paul playing with the bad left foot. Inside. He throws to Landry. Chris Paul the assist.
And that's exactly what Phil Jackson was worried about. He understood after Game 3 that these Hornets wanted to speed the tempo up and get out in transition.
Okafor and Gasol. The double by Ariza, who now goes back out on Kobe. Artest free to fire. Ron Artest.
Well, other than Andrew Bynum, to me, Ron Artest has been the most consistent Laker thus far in this series. Really has played within himself.
It's Ariza.
Again, another long shot for the Hornets. Monty Williams wants the Hornets attacking the lane,
which they did so well in Game 1. Bryant by Ariza. Out to Gasol, who has that kind of range. Popping it in once again. Powell coming off a 17-point, 10-rebound performance. His best game of the series.
Well, see, and that's the reverse of what the Hornets are doing. You want Kobe Bryant attacking the lane, sucking the defense in, and you don't mind a 15-foot jump shot after that.
And Bellinelli hits.
That's who they really need to get going. Bellinelli really struggling from the field, only 31% thus far in this series.
Artest against Bellinelli. And a foul called on Marco inside. Ron Artest has taken it as a front to him that Bellinelli has been assigned to guard him. That's the first foul called on Marco. Time now for the Cold Hard Facts presented by Coors Light.
Well, really, it's very simple. Whoever's won the points in the paint has won the game. Game one, it was the Hornets. The next two, it's been all Lakers. Bench production. And we know what Lamar Odom and the Killer Bees have done for the Lakers. If Monty Williams can't get any production from Jared Jack, as well as Willie Green, it's going to be tough. And to me, Chris Paul, who had a fabulous game one, 33 points and 14 rebounds, was phenomenal. But he doesn't have to have that kind of night. Monty Williams was talking more about 25 points and 12 assists, but he wants his activity defensively. He would like 3 or 4 steals from CP3.
Ron Artest. Gasol the rebound and a shove inside and a Laker foul. That goes on Powell.
Not only do you miss both free throws, but you pick up a foul with a push in the back from Gasol.
So Kobe Bryant has been a scorer in this series. He's been a defender in this series. I wonder what we're going to get tonight from the Laker superstar. Over Okafor, picked up by Artest. By Paul and to the rack. And Ron Artest has got a quick 5 points for Los Angeles.
Still, at his age, one of the best on-ball defenders because of his strength.
Paul, like we said, playing with a bad left thumb. It is bandaged. It is wrapped tonight. It was wrapped yesterday in practice. He suffered it sometime Friday. He doesn't know when it happened. Another turnover. The second straight for New Orleans.
This Hornets team has had 30 turnovers in games 2 and 3. Remember, they tied the record for the fewest turnovers in game 1 in that victory with only 3.
Good point. Kobe, shot clock at 9. The quick double. Fisher, nice ball rotation. This is when the Lakers are at their best. It's Gasol against Okafor. Foul. Now Okafor has gotten in some early trouble in a couple of the games. In the last game, he didn't, so he lasted a lot longer. He was initiating a lot of the contact in game 3, and that worked to his benefit.
Well, he stayed on the floor for 41 minutes in games 1 and 2. He was only out there 21, 22 minutes, and you see the weak side help from Carl Landry. He just got the wrist of Pau Gasol.
And Landry gets the foul. So here is Pau at the free throw line. He and Bynum combined in game 3 for 31 points and 21 rebounds, both 7-footers. Such great size. No team can match that front line in the NBA.
Well, it was interesting what Phil Jackson said, really to start this game and really take this crowd out of it. You know, we can get an 8 or 9 point lead and make this team play from behind. We take the crowd out of it, but it takes a lot of the steam from this Hornets team because they're always playing from behind.
Landry had 23 in game 3. Always seems to have good games against the Lakers. Into Bynum, knocked away by Andrew inside, and here comes Kobe Bryant.
This Laker team, when they're playing like this, when both 7-footers are engaged, they are tough to beat.
Gasol with a little rub screen right there. It's vacuumed in by Bynum. That is a foul on New Orleans inside. With 6:45 to play here in the first, and Okafor picks up his first foul for the Hornets.
These Lakers in this first period are really attacking the offensive glass. They're getting 2 and 3 opportunities at the basket, already 3 offensive rebounds through 6 minutes.
Put Bynum's position on this Laker team in context. What is his importance?
Well, it's interesting because it's not scoring, even though if you look post-All-Star break, his numbers have been up scoring. But what I've liked about it is he understands his role. It starts at the defensive end, rebounding and blocking shots.
The Lakers have started 5 of 12, 6 from Gasol. They lead by 8 on TNT.
New Orleans, where the Lakers lead by 8. Hello, everyone. I'm Cheryl Miller. Well, Andrew Bynum's knee issues have been well documented over the last 3 seasons, and recently he's had a few scares over the last 3 weeks. He credits that bulky knee brace as saving his surgically repaired right knee. Now, the concerns about his body, according to the Lakers head athletic trainer Gary Vitti, is his Q angle, that is the relationship between his pelvis, leg, and foot, guys. Various exercises have designed to correct his posterior alignment. And guys, if he stays healthy, and Reggie, you mentioned his role on this team is to anchor the defense and also occasionally rebound.
Yeah, they need him to rebound a lot. Good stuff, Cheryl. He still wears orthotics. Had his first knee surgery when he was 12 years of age, back in New Jersey, where he grew up.
Well, it was interesting when you asked Phil Jackson, who's that voice on the team defensively? You know, is it Lamar Odom? Is it Kobe Bryant? Is it Derek Fisher? He was like, no, it's Andrew Bynum. As Ariza gets another one to go in the paint. It was like he wasn't likening him to Scottie Pippen, because Scottie Pippen during the Chicago Bulls was the one baritone voice for the Bulls. But Andrew Bynum was really taking and really checking the guards, making sure, you know, they're playing their mans just right.
Ariza with 4 early points for the Hornets. Here comes Kobe's shot clock as he's doubled at 4. Inside for Artest. Ron Artest has started strong. 3 of 4, 7 points in 6 minutes starting tonight for LA.
Oh, what a pass by Kobe Bryant. Understanding the double team comes. Is a willing passer. Trust his teammates.
He's already got 4 assists, does Kobe.
Well, maybe he is going to be the facilitator. You were wondering what Kobe you were going to see.
Exactly.
He's a jack of all trades.
Ariza has been huge for this team, and again, he drives. He didn't do it so much in game 1, Reggie, but in game 2, it's like they unleashed something because he has been driving and penetrating since.
Well, I think he really struggled offensively because he has a tall task in guarding Kobe Bryant as he just picks up his first foul against Kobe. But
well, think how tired he's got to be. He's guarding one of the best players in the NBA and Bryant at one end, and then he's doing this at the other.
Well, I mean, they're not going to call a lot of plays for Trevor, and this is how Monty Williams wants his wing players to play. Not settling for outside shots, but attacking the paint, because if you can make that Lakers defense converge in the middle, then you can get Marco Bellinelli wide open threes.
Ariza picks up his first. A turnover by Los Angeles, their first. Chris Paul the other way. Paul 0 of 1 so far. Ariza, Kobe watching him at the other end. 5 to play in the first. Ariza, Okafor.
Nice dump down pocket pass there by Trevor Ariza. Didn't really settle for that shot. It looked like Kobe Bryant was baiting him to take that corner 3. Ariza electing to come off the pick and roll and finding Okafor.
Bynum with the screen and a foul. He was setting it on Paul. Number 1 on Andrew.
Well, look at the spacing and the weak side spacing here for the Hornets. Andrew Bynum comes up. Pau Gasol is late rotating over because he's worried about Landry on the weak side.
Lakers about rebounded New Orleans so far by 5. Big time shot outside. Trevor Ariza, the ex-Laker, has just capped off a little 6-0 run for New Orleans. It's a 3-point game.
It's already 8 points here in this first period. That's what Monty Williams, the team that has struggled offensively since game 1 to put points on the board, getting it from Trevor Ariza.
Kobe so far 0 of 2. Shot clock at 3. Ariza follows him. Rebound by Okafor. Chris Paul. He's got 3 assists so far.
Can't settle. Continue to attack.
New Orleans is at 4 in a row. They dive inside with Landry. That's a second foul called on Bynum. And that is an emerging story for the Lakers. Well, when you take a look at the landscape of this series so far, this Western Conference first round, the 2 seed against the 7, this has been the offensive story for New Orleans.
Well, it was a perfect storm, or we'll say perfect swarm, for the Hornets in game 1. They shot 52%. They scored 109. Their bench was much more productive, but in games 2 and 3, no bench production. The Lakers defense really stifled them, and they didn't get out in transition. This is the pace that Monty Williams wants to play. You get out, you get stops. You can't give the Lakers second shots because they're too tall and too talented. If you can get that initial stop and have Chris Paul, one of the premier point guards, running your break and getting finishes from Ariza and Carl Landry, then you have a shot. But you've got to play a perfect game if you're the Hornets.
Lamar Odom has checked in, the 6th-man award winner. Landry at the line. The Hornets on an 8-0 run. Andrew Bynum is on the Laker bench with 2 early fouls. We're approaching 3.5 to play in the first quarter.
Phil Jackson doesn't blink. Take off one 7-footer and you're coming in with a 6'10", 6'11" guy
who's got guard skills
with a wingspan. He plays, you're right, like a shooting guard, small forward.
They go inside. Artest has been sought, found, and is answering. Ron Artest with 9 in 9 minutes.
Quick 9 points in game 3 as well, and Bellinelli's not strong enough to keep him off the board.
Paul will chase it down. Tangles with Artest. Little jump ball. 3:15 to play here in the first with the New Orleans team shooting 63%. LA shooting 47%, and it's been Ron Artest. Early emphasis offensively for the Lakers.
Well, I had a chance to talk to Ron before the game, and I told him he's having a fantastic series. He's like, Reg, I stopped thinking and just started reacting and playing. Felt my game was being affected because I was going through too many of the motions. But just go out there and play. The game will come right to me.
And Artest had a very uneven regular season.
Well, I think, like I said, other than Andrew Bynum, he's been the most consistent Laker throughout this playoffs because he's not worried about the offense coming to him. When Gasol and Bynum and Kobe get doubled, there's going to be guys open, and that's Derek Fisher, who has to knock down threes, as well as Ron Artest.
Kobe and Ariza. Artest with the stroke. The missed three, chased down by Kobe. The 4th offensive rebound by Los Angeles. And the 2 things is Willie Green is in for the first time, and Artest screens him. Is not turning it over. Getting rebounds away from the Lakers. Taller, wider, and that's knocked away. That's off of Los Angeles. 3 Laker turnovers, a 3-point difference. A lot of hooting and hollering here in the Big Easy on TNT.
They're playing in our paint, and we're turning the ball over. We know it now. We got to correct it right now, okay? We'll get anything we want. You got fouled. That's okay. Keep going to the basket. But we got to take care of that paint. We got to take care of the ball, okay?
We talked to Monty about 90 minutes ago. We said the 2 things we can't do is turn it over, and the thing we can't allow, Laker offensive rebounding.
Well, both teams have 3 turnovers for 4 points each. But what the Lakers are doing, they have 4 offensive rebounds, half of their 8 total. But what I'm encouraged about if you're Monty Williams is points in the paint at this point are tied at 10 each. And that's something other than game 1. If you can stay even with this bigger Laker team, you're going to have a chance to be in the game.
All right, Kobe is going to take a seat on the Phil Jackson bench. Shannon Brown has taken his place. Bynum is on the bench with a couple of fouls. Some full court pressure here by the champs. And here comes Willie Green. Ex-Sixer out of Detroit Mercy High School. 2.5 to play in the first.
See if Chris Paul can kind of get engaged offensively here for the Hornets. He's doing a good job of being a facilitator. But they're going to need his offense as well as he finds Landry underneath, who gets fouled.
Foul goes on Ron Artest. He picks up his first. We know he hurt the thumb, but he doesn't know when. In game 3 did Chris Paul. The All-Star, one of the best point guards in the NBA. A look now at the upcoming NBA TNT NBA TV schedule. How about this one tomorrow? Coverage at 8 o'clock Eastern. San Antonio and Memphis. Who would have thought the top seed with the best record all season long would stagger the way they are in this first round series?
Well, I think Lionel Hollins, and listening to some of the outtakes from the Memphis Grizzlies, they've believed. I think that I wouldn't say they were tanking games at the end of the season, but they felt that they matched up pretty well with the overall #1 seed in the West with San Antonio.
Ron Artest has 9. Ariza's got 8. So far, the Hornets a perfect 4-4 from the free throw line, and that has been a problem for them in this series. Their free throw shooting.
They shot almost 77% during the regular season, only 69% in this series.
Gasol and Okafor. Powell.
I like it.
Nice stroke by Gasol.
Yeah.
He's got 8.
Struggled in games 1 and 2, only 4 of 19 through both of those games, and it's almost like a struggling batter in baseball. All you need is a couple hits here and there to get your confidence going, and I think that big 3 in game 3 really got him going offensively.
Okafor does not have a foul so far. Shuffling inside, a little shove from behind. And the foul will go on the Lakers with the clock at 1:48. Gasol picks up his second personal foul.
Well, now you got 2 fouls on Gasol and Bynum, but look at the nice stroke here by the 7'1" Spaniard. Nice little fall away shot there by Powell. So now you got 2 fouls on Bynum, 2 fouls on Gasol. And the Hornets continue to attack the paint.
Great aggressive play by Trevor Ariza, who won a championship with the Laker team. 10 points in 10 minutes and 5 of 6 from the field.
Monty Williams, the game didn't start particularly like you want. The Lakers got off to that 7-8 point lead, but you've done a good job of battling your way back.
Odom from Powell. Lamar Odom.
These Lakers can get any shot they want in the paint. They can continue to move the ball side to side.
5 consecutive baskets by New Orleans. And again, Ariza. Into Odom. Ariza has got 12, 6 of 7 to start the game.
Oh, the product of Westchester High. He has a lot of people watching this game back home. Player of the year at Westchester High.
His dad played pro basketball with Ariza's in Australia after a career at the University of Florida. Gasol is screen. Shannon Brown with a little teardrop inside.
16 points in the paint for the Lakers and 14 for the Hornets here.
Ariza for 3.
That was a heat check.
It's Brown the other way. No fouls to give either way.
And the Lakers go for a quick 2 for 1.
Odom moving his way inside into Landry, who grabs the rebound. Andrew's got his second with his 6 points. Difference of a second, the game clock and the shot clock winding down the first quarter.
Well, if you're the Hornets, you play here for the last shot.
Chris Paul has only taken 1 shot in every second played in this first quarter. Fisher's on him. No one is on Okafor. Landry can't get it to go. But the Hornets, who were down by 9, shave that deficit to 2. The Lakers led by 9. The Hornets finished the first on a 14-8 run. It's game 4, the Lakers and New Orleans on TNT.
So joining me is Coach Bill Jackson. And Coach, they were able to make a late run. How were they able to do that, the Hornets?
Trevor got going. Yeah, we stopped playing defense. We had a real good defensive stand in the first 6 minutes.
You said before the game that Ron Artest is one of the most consistent players in this series. How's he been able to do it?
Say that again.
Ron Artest has been very consistent.
Yep.
Just how's he been able to get himself going?
He's got the matchup mismatch out there. Well, our bigs have size, but he has size and strength on the matchups he has. So we've been using him.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, we start the second quarter. Blake is out there for the Lakers with Odom. Matt Barnes is in the game. Brown remains. Bynum is back in with a couple fouls, and Odom, the Laker 5. Paul remains. Jarrett Jack has joined the fray. Gray. Here is Willie Green with a little move on Barnes. And Landry is in there, shooting outside. What a stroke. Landry hits. And the Hornets have come to within 1 after being down earlier in this half by 9.
And what Phil was talking to Cheryl about is 20 of the 24 points is coming from Carl Landry and Trevor Ariza. They got to do a better job defensively on those two. And let's give credit to Trevor as well. Kobe Bryant, 0 of 3, no points in that first period.
Jarrett Jack. And here comes Blake. Still trying to get his legs under him after being flat on his back in bed 7 days, battling the chicken pox and Odom's screen. He finds a crowd with a minute gone here in the second quarter.
And if you're Monty Williams, this is the bunch on the floor that's going to have to do something offensively to keep this team in it. They've really gotten outplayed by the Laker bench in games 2 and 3.
Jack with a move on Barnes, playing with the bad knee, had fluid drained a week ago. Any minute he can give him is a good one. Shot clock at 10. Trying to pick and roll, didn't materialize. Now they zip it inside to Gray. He got it from Chris Paul.
And that's exactly what Chris Paul and Aaron Gray did in game 1. When they would have that pick and roll situation, Chris Paul would look over the top because Gray is a big target. He can score down low.
Chris Paul has 5 assists and no points so far in this game. Little shove, little chicken wing thrown right there. It's going to go on Gray for the first time for New Orleans.
Well, look at the size of Aaron Gray as he gets the ball down low. He's such a big target. He has good hands. He can score over that left shoulder on that little jump hook.
Paul will take a breather, matching the rest being taken by Kobe Bryant.
Andrew Bynum back on the floor. Remember, he has 2 fouls here. Has to be real careful.
Into Gray. Nice little move, and all that perfected with the help of the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who has worked tirelessly with Bynum over the very early years of his career.
It was funny, Kareem said he was a blank slate when I got a hold of him, so I got a chance to start from the beginning and work his way up offensively as well as defensively.
Look at the speed of Brown, push the envelope, and down the lane he goes. Shannon Brown off the bench, part of the Killer Bees with Blake, Brown, and Barnes. Jack will drive. Gray will tap it back in. He's 2 of 2.
A rare offensive opportunity for the Hornets. Aaron Gray coming off the bench here. Playing very much like in game 1, being very active around the basket.
Second offensive rebound for New Orleans. Lamar Odom into Landry, who plays him tough, and a foul called on Carl Landry. The ex-Rocket, Sacramento King, and now with this New Orleans team's second foul coming up on Landry. We talked about the Laker bench. What about this New Orleans bench led by Jarrett Jack out of Georgia Tech?
I think bench play is pivotal for us. You know, we got to come out and, you know, bring some energy and life off the bench. You know, we're good. We're one of the better benches when we're able to come in there and score points and, you know, relieve the starters for a little bit.
Well, it's interesting because Monty Williams said he would like his bench, even though they had 39 in game 1. 18 to 23 is the barometer, but we went back and looked. When this bench scores 25-plus points during the regular season, they're 38 and 21. That's a win percentage of 64%. When they score under 25, they're 9 and 17. So they've got to be very active. Willie Green, Jarrett Jack, and Aaron Gray, who's off to a 2-for-2 start for Monty Williams.
Jason Smith is coming now for New Orleans. Bellinelli came in moments ago for the point guard, Chris Paul. Here is Jack, the mismatch now against Odom. The shot clock down to 7. Will he exploit and drive? Here he goes. Jack with the dance. Nice defense by Lamar. Smith with the miss. Rebound by Bynum, his 5th with 4 points.
Odom just showed you his versatility there.
Yes, sir.
6'10", 6'11". You can switch those pick and rolls with him because of his foot speed.
Barnes. Again, when the Lakers move it side to side, that is when offensive. They're at their best, and there's a reach in by Smith. The former 2-time high school player of the year in the state of Colorado, who picks up the foul. Number 1 on him. 8.5 to play in the first half. New Orleans down by 3 in this game 4. Is right. And it came on that jump ball, an inadvertent elbow by Ron Artest. He took it right there in his eye. Now remember, back in early March, he had a concussion. He missed a couple games. They're testing him not only for the cut right there, but also just his wits. That when you've had a concussion not so long ago, that's going to become a prominent thing for the medical staff of any team, but especially New Orleans.
Yeah, but knowing Chris, he's such a competitor. He's going to want to continue to play in this game. And we didn't know how hard that Ron hit him, but you're absolutely right. When you don't want to keep continuing taking blows to the head.
And an emphasis by all professional leagues. We've seen hockey do it. We know the NFL is knee-deep in that study, and the NBA is falling right in line. There's a foul. It goes on Jason Smith, who picks up his second quick foul.
And what's interesting, too, it looks like that right eye might be closing just a little bit, too. It looks like they put a little butterfly bandage on that right eye, but it's starting to close a little bit as well.
Here is Blake with Jack on him. Blake, who beat out Jack for the point guard position of Portland. We mentioned that the other night. There's a little thing between those two. They're going eye to eye and head to head here tonight in New Orleans again.
Looks like Blake is starting to get his legs back, as you mentioned, being bedridden with those chicken pox.
Nice pass, one big man to another. Smith looking for Gray, who played at Pitt. That's a foul. It's inside. Lakers run a 9-2 run right now.
We're talking about Blake getting his legs back, just does a little bit of a jab step to kind of take Jared Jack off that defensive pose and just rises up for the three. Hit a big three in game 3 right after we talked about Powell knocking down. It was 75-70. Powell hits a three, and then Blake comes right back and hits a three to take the lead to 11. So it looks like he's getting more comfortable offensively and starting to get his win back in Steve Blake.
Matt Barnes picks up his first foul. For expert analysis, live press conferences after every game, playoff playbacks and more. To NBA TV for complete playoff coverage as Kobe checks back in the game. He played about 10 minutes in that first quarter, 0-3, 4 assists. And like I said before, and I'll go back to the earlier statement, ooh, that was a bad-looking free throw by Gray.
Wow. Well, how about this? How about the minutes of Shannon Brown, who's really been struggling up and down over the last month and a half for the Lakers. 4 points, 2 rebounds off the bench.
Good point. Blake and Odom. Bryant coming in for the aforementioned Shannon Brown. Kobe with it. 30-point game, 34 in game 1. Here he pops one over Ariza. Smith got a hand on it, and Jack is running the point. Ariza with 12 points. Make it 14. Another great start for Trevor Ariza. He's taken 9 shots. He's scored 14 points so far.
I think offensively, this is the best I've probably seen Trevor Ariza play. There's a little bit of a bounce to his step as he comes off these pick and rolls as Odom doesn't get a long 3 to go.
Lamar 1 of 3. The screen right there by Bynum. Ariza picked up by Barnes. Drives inside. A Laker foul with 7:02 to play in the first half. Since they have unleashed him and told him drive anytime you can, great. That'll set up outside shots like that.
Well, Kobe Bryant had just checked in as well, so he wasn't as loose as he normally would be. But right there, Trevor doing a good job of dancing with the ball, and Kobe's going to have his hand down. You just rise up and knock down the shot.
Here comes our test, and there goes Barnes. They're watching the minutes closely. Barnes, for whatever reason, we're having a hard time getting the foul. We think it was on Kobe, and it was. Who picks up his first.
Kobe Bryant already 10 points in this second period in 10 minutes. 0 of 4, 0 points for Kobe.
He's setting screens. Jack can't find the range. He's 0 of 3 and out of bounds. It's off of Los Angeles.
Aaron has done a fantastic job since coming in for Monty Williams and this Hornets of keeping balls alive and getting extra possessions for the Hornets.
Lakers only plus 2 points in the paint. Otherwise, the numbers very even up and down. Great hesitation. And that nice fake inside with Jack feeding him. Going to Gray. He's got 7 points, all accumulated here in the second quarter.
Well, nice find there by Jared Jack as well, looking over the defense. Again, Gray is making himself a big target down low.
Artest continues the strong start. Artest, 11 points in 13 minutes for Los Angeles. 5 of 7 to begin it. Ariza. Bellinelli, who has really been a hindrance in this series.
He's been a hindrance because he's been guarded by Ron Artest, one of the premier defenders on the post.
Lamar to Odom. Nice knock away by Okafor. Setting up transition. This is where the Hornets survive. Bellinelli for 3. Rebound by Odom. Bellinelli has started 1 of 3.
And those are the shots that Bellinelli needs. If he can get those to go confidence-wise, it could be huge for him as well as the Hornets.
Lakers lead this series 2 games to 1. Up 3-1 after a win tonight. They would cause problems for New Orleans. So it's got to be the Hornets getting plays from Jack to Gray. They're staying within 3. New Orleans trying to tie this series at 2.
The Hornets organization, we're huge fans of the community of New Orleans. When we get an opportunity to go out there and put a smile on the kids' faces, that definitely has to be the most inspiring thing for us. We try to be as hands-on as possible, and in a community like New Orleans that is still rebuilding, we're still out there in the schools, in the communities, just being there because we're one big family.
In this game 4, Kobe Bryant has started 0 of 5, and Chris Paul has played 14 minutes. He is 0 of 1. The Hornets shooting 50%. Paul has been on the bench. He's getting off right now. He's going to come back in the game after getting an inadvertent elbow from Ron Artest on a jump ball. He's playing with a bad left thumb. He's got a pretty good size shiner there above his eye. With the eye closing, he's been looked at. They've checked for concussion symptoms. He's been cleared, and here he goes back in the game with about 5.5 left in the first half.
Well, Monty Williams also has to be encouraged. We talked about the Lakers really attacking as Trevor Ariza finish to pull within 1. But the Lakers were really attacking the offensive glass. They had 4 offensive rebounds early. Well, they haven't had an offensive rebound since about 2 minutes left in that first period. So the Hornets are doing a good job of putting bodies on the Lakers.
Fish with a swish. 4 points, 2 of 2 for Fisher, coming off a nice 10-point, 5-assist, 3-steal performance in Game 3. Artest leads the Lakers with 11. Ariza leads all scorers with 16. And here is Chris Paul to Ariza, who works on Fisher and slithers inside. A nice rejection by Bynum. 2-on-1, Kobe, Artest. Ron finishes it off. And Kobe comes up with his 5th assist tonight.
And that is a textbook 2-on-1 by Kobe Bryant and Ron Artest. Ball never touches the floor. You make Chris Paul make a commitment on who he's going to guard.
He's 0-2, Paul. Okafor gets it back. An offensive rebound. Paul against Fisher. Both teams moments ago were shooting over 50%. Paul chiseling inside Okafor.
My goodness, what a nice drop down pass by Chris Paul to Okafor right there.
He has 7 assists already, does Chris Paul.
He's doing a great job of facilitating, but at some point in time in this game, they're going to need his offense as well.
Gray picks up a foul. The bear hug on Bynum, the second on Aaron Gray.
Look at the vision here by Chris Paul. Gets into the teeth of the defense and a nice little dump down pocket pass to Okafor. There's 2 Laker defenders around him. Okafor doing a good job of making himself available.
We just saw that care segment there on Chris Paul. Great story. The other night he hosted a 14-year-old from New Hampshire named Brad Rhodes, a high school player from Epsom, New Hampshire, and his dad Friday night. Paul flew them into New Orleans after reading a story about Brad. He scored 46 points, did Brad, in a high school game 2 days after his mother had died in an auto accident at the age of 46. He did it, he said, in tribute to his mother. Now, Chris Paul was inspired by the story because when he was in high school, his grandfather was killed in a robbery, and at the age of 61, he passed away. And the next day, Paul scored, in his high school game, 61 points as a tribute to the man he admired very much.
What I love about that story is Brad is a huge Celtic fan, but now he's starting to convert to being a Hornet. And Chris, hey, I don't care if he's a Celtics fan. It's all about the humanity of the story, which touched Chris Paul.
And that's the kind of guy that Chris Paul is. For this community in the wake of 2 disasters, the oil spill, of course, and Katrina. Ron Artest is on the money. 15 minutes, 7 of 9, and 16 points to match the 16 of Ariza. Wow, does he have the stroke tonight?
And more importantly, defensively, has taken Marco Bellinelli out of the offense for the Hornets. Now he's switched over to Trevor Ariza to try to slow him down.
Landry over Gasol. Carl Landry puts one in 16 minutes. He's got 10.
If you're Monty Williams and the Hornets, just 3 minutes left, you're down 6. You can't let this Laker lead get up to 9, 10 double digits.
Gasol still trying to find his rhythm tonight. Powell, 3 of 5. Kobe Bryant. And Kobe, 0 of 6, no points. Paul the other way. The corkscrew movement to Fisher. Outside Ariza. Bellinelli for 3.
Still cannot get that 1-3 to go.
Paul, Ariza, Landry.
Hornets are shooting 50% from the field. Really struggled in games 2 and 3 from the field because of that Lakers defense.
Landry has scored 6 in the first quarter, 6 here in the second.
And finally, the ball movement for the Hornets. You get into the paint, good things are going to happen. A couple drives here. Landry with the nice finish. 12 points on 4 of 5 shooting.
Above his eye, a little cut, no stitches, but you can see them gluing it there. He has started in his 17 minutes, 0 of 2. But here are the headliners so far: Ariza, Artest, and Landry with good shooting and good numbers. Then you wonder about Kobe Bryant and Reggie Miller. He has started 0 of 6.
He does have 7 assists for Kobe. He's doing a good job of facilitating. But they're going to need his offense very much the same way they're going to need Chris Paul's.
Gasol, shot clock at 8. Now it's 7.
And at the top, we talked about points in the paint because of the size of the Lakers. That's really what they dominated in games 2 and 3. That's what the Hornets did to get that game 1 win.
Kobe sailing, rejected by Okafor and picked up by Chris Paul. Ariza, Fisher was right there. Lakers have led by as many as 9, shooting 50%. The Hornets have led by as many as 2, shooting 50% so far. A little crossover by Paul. The switch on D. Bellinelli free to shoot. The drive! That's how you get out of a slump, huh?
Well, he just wants to see the ball go through the hoop. Sometimes either you get fouled or you get a layup.
Oda puts his foot on the throttle. A chance to tie or take a lead. Let's see. The lead tried by Bellinelli. Okafor with the offensive rebound. Paul and Kobe. Where the lane was open, too. Bad left thumb, injured it Friday. Now the gash above his eye. Hornets on a little 6-0 run. The crossover on Kobe by Chris Paul. A jaw-dropping move by CP3. His first 2 tonight.
And a technical on Chris Paul. It looked like he had words with Kobe Bryant.
Yep.
After that lay-in. We're talking about a crossover right here. Chris Paul just dancing with the stars right here. Gets by Kobe Bryant. Might have gotten a little bit of a shove as he gets by Bryant for his first bucket. But we don't see what he said to Kobe as he was coming in from out of bounds.
Kobe is still scoreless in 16 minutes. From the line, 0 of 1. From the field, 0 of 7. Here comes Jason Smith. There goes Landry, a quick sub for the Hornets.
And they don't want Landry picking up his 3rd foul here with just a little over a minute left in the game. So, look, this is exactly
in the first half.
What Monty Williams has wanted in this first half. He wanted to see if his team was going to respond.
Hornets have a foul to give. A 3 by Odom. Picked up by Chris Paul. Off to the races. Into Fisher. Bumping into Kobe. To the rack. And a foul. Odom is reaching in. Let's see. Out of bounds.
And Kobe and Chris Paul are having words right here.
Kobe Bryant just picked up his 2nd personal foul.
And what Kobe's upset about, and they didn't call, is Chris Paul kind of gave him an elbow before that move to the hoop. And he looked over at Bob Delaney, the official, and they didn't call it. So now, as you see the little words here between a little shove there by
little elbow, little chicken wing.
Oh, we love it. Well, remember when Kobe was being very physical with Chris Paul in game 2 with a little bit of the bumping and the elbows, trying to roughhouse the smaller Chris Paul.
And Kobe requested the assignment against Paul after Chris in game 1 had 34.
And he was trying to send a message to his team that I don't need to score. I can do other things and we can still win, which they ended up winning game 2. But to me, this Laker team will always be at its best when Kobe is being aggressive offensively.
No fouls to give either way. Final half minute of the first half. Ariza is on Kobe Bryant. 10-0 run by New Orleans.
Hey, let's give Ariza a lot of credit defensively. He's done a beautiful job on Kobe.
Rejected by Okafor on the shot by Gasol, the 2nd block shot. 1 shot here. Final 17 seconds and no fouls to give.
What a first half for the Hornets here.
Okafor. Going back to 2004. First scoreless half in a playoff game by the great Kobe Bryant. Kobe 0-7. The Hornets closing out the first half on a 12-0 run. Trying to tie the series at the end of the first half. The Hornets by 4 on TNT. Easter Sunday night in the French Quarter of New Orleans. Welcome to a warm night in Louisiana. It's Game 4. The Hornets and the two-time defending NBA champion Los Angeles Lakers Kevin Harlan, Reggie Miller. It has not been Kobe Bryant. It has not been Chris Paul. It's been others that are taking the first half headlines here.
Well, I think we'll hear from them as this game goes on before it's all said and done, but it's a team game. And how about the supporting cast for both of these guys? Ron Artest, who you heard Chris Webber talking about it at half. This is the most consistent I think I've ever seen Ron Artest play offensively. And Trevor Ariza has got the memo from Monty Williams. Take the ball to the hole strong. And we talked about Chris and Kobe before it's all said and done. The two are getting a little bit chippy. Remember, these guys won the gold medal in Beijing together. Very close friends, but these are the playoffs.
And through the first 24 minutes of the first half, some of the numbers, and you've taken a look at the points in the paint.
Well, we talked about who's ever won the points in the paint has won the games. In Game 1, it was the Hornets. 2 and 3 was the Lakers. +6 for the Hornets through the first half, but more importantly, the second chance points, a +8 for the Hornets. Now you're a +14 in easy categories, something that the Lakers have dominated in Games 2 and 3.
Cheryl, the Lakers were up by 9. Now they trail here going to the second half by 4.
Well, I spoke to assistant coach Brian Shaw, who said it was really the last 3 minutes of that second quarter where they just felt that the Hornets outplayed them and just simply played harder. He said defensively, we did a poor job on the perimeter players as far as keeping them in front. We allowed them to get to the paint. And as far as Kobe Bryant being scoreless, they're not worrying.
Nor is Phil Jackson. You just saw him over there enjoying a light moment before the start of the second half. And here we go. Here is Chris Paul working on Fisher. They got Landry out there. Bellinelli is there. Landry with the ball. Ariza and Okafor, the Hornet 5. Inside, Carl Landry rejected by Bynum. Shot clock at 1. Paul for 3. Chris Paul has just put down his first field goal tonight. Making his second. But the first 3.
Second shot opportunity, something that the Lakers really have dominated throughout this series.
Gasol underneath and shoved and fouled by New Orleans. And the Lakers out there with Artest and Pau Gasol, Bynum, Kobe Bryant, and Derek Fisher. The foul. It goes on Bellinelli, who picks up his second personal foul. With Pau Gasol at the free throw line, coming off a 17-10 performance in Game 3 tonight. 8 points and a rebound. TNT this June. Fear the skies, face the enemy. Fight for survival. From TNT and DreamWorks Television, Falling Skies series premiere this June, only on TNT.
You know, Kev, to me, really the first 5 minutes, especially if you're the underdog, the 7-seeded Hornets, it's so important that you get into the game quickly because you can't let the Lakers gain momentum very much like they did in that first period when they ran off to that 9-point lead. You got to consistently attack the defense of the Lakers.
Landry and Bynum with the shot clock down to 7. Rebound by Pau Gasol. He now has 2 rebounds with his 9 points. There's a little 15 8-0 run by the Hornets, going from the late stages of the first half here into the second until the free throw, and that's a great pass by Gasol inside to Bynum.
How about this 7-1 throwing to 7 feet? I mean, what a luxury Phil Jackson has. Not only are your big men talented down low, but they're willing passers as well.
Gasol's got 3 assists. Landry free to fire.
And normally that would be David West in that high pick and roll. David West out for the season with that ACL injury. And Carl Landry, who was a late season trade, has played marvelous for the Hornets in his absence.
Fisher 2 of 2. Bellinelli on him on the switch. Bynum over Okafor. Rebound by Chris Paul. He's got the 10 assists. He's got 7 points. He gets a screen and he weaves. And he's got now the matchup against Bynum. This is what happened back in game 1, and Paul exploited this so well in game 1 with his 34. Bellinelli for 3. New Orleans has their biggest lead tonight.
Well, is this going to be just like that struggling batter analogy as Kobe Bryant gets his first field goal of the evening? Can Marco Bellinelli put a string of shots together for the Hornets?
Last 2 games, Bellinelli has been averaging about 23% from the floor. So he has been struggling with his shot. Landry a screen, slows up Fisher, off his noggin, picked up by Gasol. Kobe and Paul the race.
That's it. If you're Chris Paul, you made a play on the ball. That is a good, hard playoff foul if you're Chris Paul. I would like to know what the discussion is. If you make a play on the ball, Kobe Bryant didn't fall. He didn't go to the ground. He's going to get an uncontested layup if Paul doesn't come over. That's just a good, hard foul. Now, why they're discussing this is because of the little scrum we just showed at half of these 2 players kind of going at one another. But that's a good play on the ball. Now, they can go review this if they think it's a flagrant foul.
Bob Delaney, the gray-haired gentleman there who's in your screen, was in law enforcement, undercover cop, covert operations for so many years. Wrote a book about it. Mark Davis out there with Zach Zarba, the trio combining with the conversation. Kobe Bryant is at the free throw line where he is 0 of 1 tonight with his Lakers trailing by 7.
I think if you would have asked Kobe Bryant, he probably would have said that wasn't a flagrant foul. Kobe's been hit a lot harder than that. And again, you know, we've been hearing this throughout these playoffs. You can't give up uncontested layups. You have to make everyone earn it from the free throw line. You never want to be malicious or try to hurt anyone, but you got to try to make plays on ball and make people go to the free throw line and knock down shots.
No flagrant foul, and so Kobe at the stripe drains a couple with 3 minutes gone here in the third.
So far, if you're Monty Williams, this is the pace you like. You're getting stops, you're getting runouts.
Travel, Ariza.
But they can't do that. They can't turn the ball over. We talked about 3 turnovers for the Hornets in that game 1 win, tying a league record, but 30 turnovers in games 2 and 3 combined for the Hornets.
Laker bench, by the way, 11-7 over New Orleans. Kobe dialing up a 3. Ariza grabs the rebound, his second, with his 16 points. Paul, Okafor the screen, the switch, Ariza over our test. Little volleyball there, and here comes Fish with it. One of the 5 championships, Fisher, Pau Gasol.
Ron Artest is just too strong for Marco Bellinelli down low. I'm not surprised if Phil Jackson doesn't try to go to Ron Artest in that triangle offense down low, because he can post up Bellinelli.
3rd foul on Bellinelli. Okafor was reaching in. And that is a foul on Emeka, who picks up his 2nd personal foul. Foul problems in games 1 and 2 kind of deterred him. His compass pointed the wrong way. In game 3, He initiated the contact. He didn't get in the early foul trouble tonight. His second. We're into the third quarter.
Well, 6 points and 5 rebounds, but he's been on the floor to battle Powell and Andrew Bynum.
And there's a foul. It's on Bynum. That's his third personal foul. The Lakers have 1 team foul. New Orleans has 4.
Looks like Monty Williams has decided to go to a lot of pick and roll early in this third period. Something they did in game 1 but kind of got away from in games 2 and 3.
Call to Carl Landry. Rejected by Gasol and picked up by Bynum.
If you're Carl Landry, you're going to have to be a little bit more creative on the post because of the length of Powell and Bynum. You just can't go straight up in front of them.
Gasol, 3 of 6. Kobe charging into Ariza. Powell, Gasol. Rebound Ariza.
And I will live with that shot from Powell. Remember, he knocked down that big 3 in game 3, but if you can keep him out of the paint, Powell only 3 of 7, only 9 points.
Over Bynum, it's Okafor. Rebound by Kobe Bryant with a little shove. That's number 3. That's number 3 on Okafor. First year head coach Monty Williams.
Yeah, but think about this, Kev. Now the Lakers are in shooting free throws for 7:21 left in this third period.
In the penalty, you're right. And Kobe Bryant is there for Los Angeles. 7:21 to play in the third, and Kobe tonight 2 of 3 from the stripe with 4 points and 1 of 9 from the floor. The schedule now for the rest of this series. Game 5, we're going back to Los Angeles with a 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central tip on TNT. Game 6, if there is one, Thursday back here in New Orleans. Game 7 would be in Los Angeles next Saturday night.
Well, think about the sense of urgency for both of these teams. If the Lakers can find a way to win this game 4, they can potentially close this out at home and get rest. If you look at the series who they may go up against in that Dallas-Portland, that could go 6, possibly 7. So you get rest for a veteran team. And what Monty Williams said, this is a must-win. The biggest game of the season, obviously, for the Hornets. They don't want to go down 3-1 going to Los Angeles.
Chris Paul, Trevor Ariza for 3. Andrew got a hand on it. Paul comes up with it. We're not seeing much swelling in that eye, which is good news for Paul. It's Bellinelli on the fly. He's got the green light to fire, and he has not been answering. 3 of 8. And now he's got the assignment of Kobe Bryant at the other end. Kobe. Timeout, New Orleans. Their lead chopped down to 1. Kobe Bryant has got 8.
Well, he struggled in the first half, going 0 for. But if you need one man to get a bucket for you, it's number 24, the Mamba.
(57-56). The Hornets led by 9. The Lakers have gone 8-0 over the Hornets, and all scored by Bryant, who has tonight from the floor 10 shots.
And you see the numbers, which mean absolutely nothing to me. I know people get astonished when he shoots 15 or less. They're 15-0. I need my best player being aggressive offensively. So he should be shooting more than 15 times.
5 consecutive misses by New Orleans. 6.5 to play in the third. If the Lakers win, they go 3-1 up on New Orleans. Hornets trying to tie it at 2-2. There's a foul, and it's on Derek Fisher on the perimeter, his first personal foul.
Well, we've seen Kobe Bryant react and respond at the start of this third period. Now it's Chris Paul time. He hit an early 3 here to put up the Hornets by 7. Now it's time for him to be a little bit more aggressive offensively and attacking the paint.
Bynum playing with 3 fouls. Watches Fisher. Here is Landry. Knocked away by Okafor. Picked up by Bellinelli. Fresh shot clock with which to work. Hornets are firing away at 47%. Lakers at 45% for the game.
They got the switch they wanted with
sure
Andrew Bynum on Chris Paul.
What Paul exploited back in game 1, and he exploits the change right there, and they've got their first field goal in almost 4 minutes. And Chris Paul has got 9 with 11 assists.
And I like it. And we talked about him being aggressive, especially on that switch. He can attack Powell as well as Bynum, as we just saw, off the dribble.
By the way, Okafor, a couple blocks, 6 points and 6 rebounds. He's defending Pau Gasol right now. Gasol, 11, 4 of 8. His first field goal since 2:10 left in the first quarter.
If this pace is going like this, and they can't run the Hornets, it's very difficult, but that's what they got. They got the switch again.
That means the big man's on the little man. Well, Paul, Nance, clock at 5. Little fake. Oh, what a masterful move by Chris Paul.
My goodness.
He's got 7 in the quarter and 11 for the game, and Kobe the other way. Ariza's on it. Doubled by Landry. Fisher's wide open. He's got it on the pass from Gasol. Landry knocks it away. Paul's got the double-double. Ariza, Bellinelli, Trevor. 4.5 in the third.
Well, they're trying to get Andrew Bynum up there to get him in the pick and roll.
Again, the switch. Kobe coming out to assist with a little stunt. Here's Bellinelli, shot clock at 2. 3 of 9.
See, now they're going to switch and then send Kobe back for the help. That's when Ariza and Bellinelli are going to have to knock down those weak side shots. Keep them honest.
Ariza fights for the screen. Landry, the primary defender on Kobe and Bryant. Now in the second half, has hit 3 shots. He's got 10 for the game with 7 assists and 5 rebounds.
Kev, you better buckle up. Between Chris Paul and Kobe Bryant, they are going to take over this ball game offensively.
Fisher on Paul. Early on, it was Ron Artest who was the scorer for this Laker team. He had 16 in the first half.
Well, I told you we were going to hear from both of these guys, and look at the stare down from Chris Paul, and just really turns Andrew Bynum around in circles for the nice 17-footer. Look at the little give and go by Kobe Bryant. A nice 18-footer at the other end.
Paul is a rebound away from a triple-double.
We have about almost 16 minutes left in this ball game.
They hem him in. Calls the timeout. And with the shove in there, Paul a little bit feisty, as are the Lakers with their defense, and a timeout taken by New Orleans. And our third quarter clock at 3:36. Lakers have led by 9. The Hornets have led by 9 in this game 4. And we will pause. Bryant with 10, Paul with 11 on TNT.
Right now, we just need to be solid and sound with our offense. Defensively, we're okay. We're in the penalty right now because we're aggressive. We don't need hero plays right now, okay? If you're going to go to the basket, go hard.
Monty Williams, the first-year head coach, decided against a walkthrough today with his team. Instead, he said, enjoy your families, which Monty did with his wife and children. They went to Easter Sunday church. Here is Ariza missing the shot. Nice defense by Kobe Bryant. And so we said, if you don't know the headline going into this, if you don't understand what this is all about, then you shouldn't be at this stage. He felt his team knew exactly what was going. He said, be courageous. Be on top of your game.
As well as be strong. And if you face the Lakers 3 straight times already during the playoffs, they're not going to change their plays overnight. You're understanding this is much more important for guys to get away for Easter Sunday. And they've come out with a lot of emotion here in this game.
Okafor just picked up his 4th personal foul. This will send Gasol to the line, where tonight he is 3 of 4. Monty also said that at the end of the service, the minister said a little prayer for his Hornets. So we felt he's got about everything he can do. All the I's dotted and the T's crossed. DJ Benga has checked in for Okafor. We just said he picked up the 4th foul. Benga, the ex-Laker, ex-Maverick. He's the one who collided with Gasol early in this series and gave him that little cut beneath the eye.
Let's see, Aaron Gray, who played great in that first half. 3 of 3, 7 points. Aaron Gray and DJ Benga for this 3-minute stretch here can match up with Powell and Bynum.
Paul and Fisher. Ariza and Kobe. Ariza's a Laker foul.
And Ariza really has struggled after having those 16 points in that first half. This is his first trip to the free throw line.
We're tied at 61 in Game 4 here in the Big Easy. Stay tuned for a preview of Rockstar Games LA Noir in stores May 17th. Back in New Orleans, and here is what the Lakers are chasing as we visit the Cinco Stat of the Night presented by Corona.
Think about Phil Jackson being a part of all these teams and his influence. And, you know, it's funny, people always talk about, yeah, well, he had Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kobe Bryant. They all had to buy into the system.
That was his first three-peat ring with Chicago in '93. He is wearing, Phil Jackson, a different championship ring, even going back to his days with the New York Knicks. That's right, rub it for good luck.
And it was funny because he said the owner's wife got involved in the design of that one. And that's why there's so much bling bling on that. I guess, you know, when you get the ladies involved, you get the diamonds going. You know all about that, right, Kev?
Yeah, no, not really. As we were going to break, Gasol picked up his third foul. And here is Kobe. He's working on Ariza. Kobe 3 of 11. Oh, and a sweeping hook across the lane. What a shot by Kobe Bryant.
Somewhere Magic Johnson just got off from the couch and said, I remember when I took that from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You remember when Magic did that in the finals against Boston Celtics?
Garden, you're right. New Orleans having a 31% shooting third quarter. That rolls out. Now it's below 30. Bynum wrestles down the rebound, number 7.
Seems like Kobe Bryant has found a rhythm offensively.
Kobe Bryant. Darting is Paul into Benga.
Usually you don't see your 7-foot center run like DJ Benga. A nice job of strutting down the left side of the floor. And how about the trust of your point guard being able to get to him so he can finish?
And how about the rebound by Paul? He's got a triple-double. The 4th in Hornets playoff history. A lot of congestion in the paint for Kobe. Out to Fisher. Nice looking rainbow by Derek Fisher. A long deuce. 3 of 4. Fisher with 6 points.
How many times have we seen that from Derek Fisher throughout his illustrious career, especially for the Lakers?
Bellinelli. I don't know why they keep shooting him because he has just been atrocious. 3 of 11. Lakers enjoy their first lead of the half. They do get the offensive board. And spurting inside is Paul.
And Monty Williams, you seriously have to think about going with Jared Jack or Willie Green at that shooting guard position. Look at Derek Fisher here with the long deuce on the penetration by Kobe Bryant.
Bynum just picked up his 4th foul. Look at this sweeping hook.
Well, we all take moves from the former greats of past, and right there, Kobe Bryant, shades of Magic Johnson, who took it shades of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. All Laker greats.
Odom in for Bynum, Landry in for Gray. Nice defense by the Lakers. Suffocating Chris Paul. Here comes Fisher the other way. The 7th turnover for New Orleans. Nice steal by Paul. Took it from Fisher. Numbers the other way. Landry. Hornets recapture the lead with under a minute to play. No fouls to give. We're in the 3rd.
That's the activity Monty Williams was looking for from his superstar Chris Paul.
Kobe aggressively inside. Out of bounds, off Los Angeles. Watch Paul again.
And defensively, Chris Paul getting a hand on the basketball that goes through the legs of Derek Fisher, which starts the fast break.
Paul a 3. Landry chases the ball down, saves it for Ariza. A difference of about 5 seconds. The game clock and shot clock winding down the 3rd.
The Hornets, you play for the last shot here. Chris Paul looks exhausted.
Bad left thumb, hurt it Friday, wrapped up heavily tonight. He's got hit in the eye, goes against Kobe. That's a whistle, that's a Kobe Bryant foul.
And Zach Zarba saying, why isn't that a continuation? Because he did not put the basketball back down. And should it be an and one? And Kobe is crying by saying it should be a carry and a turnover.
Kobe's got 3 fouls.
Right here, look at the crossover right there. Yeah, it's on the floor. He took a dribble afterwards. There's the foul and there's the dribble. It's a good call there by the official. Huddled up, Zach Zarba. He said both of these superstars were going to have an imprint in this second half. They have not disappointed.
Chris Paul with 12 points, 13 assists, 11 rebounds. He has 8 points in this second quarter. And his second career playoff triple-double in this third quarter, in this second half. Here is Paul. 4-point lead. Hornets have led by as many as 9. And while Paul has had 13 points for the game, Kobe's got 12. There's a foul on Ariza.
Are you kidding me? If you're Trevor Ariza, you can't give the Lakers easy points. He's just trying to deny Kobe Bryant. Lamar Odom wasn't even looking back to give the ball to Bryant. And you pick up a silly foul 80 feet away from the Lakers basket, and you're putting Kobe Bryant, who has been brilliant in this third period with 12 points, back at the free throw line.
Bryant with 13. 6 of those 13 have come from the free throw line. And you can see in free throws made where he ranks in NBA history in the playoffs. Brings his Lakers to within 3. He just passed Jerry West, the logo.
Now these fans are getting into it. We saw that great fan base in Portland. Brandon Roy was sensational last night in that Game 4 against Dallas, but it was the crowd, to me, that really willed them to a victory.
Here comes Paul. Blake has come in. Ariza, good if it goes. That ends the third quarter. Kobe Bryant for the Lakers scores 14 points in the final 9.5 minutes of the third. The Hornets have led by 9. The Lakers have led by 9. At the end of 3 in Game 4, the Hornets by 2 on TNT.
Is Coach Monty Williams. And Coach, you told your players before the game you wanted them to be strong and courageous. Chris Paul, the triple-double, have they measured that up in the first 3 quarters?
Well, I want him to play free. He's strong and courageous no matter what the situation is. I want everybody else to follow him. We got to attack the basket. If we can get to the free throw line or make baskets, we can set our defense.
How do you close this game out tonight?
I'm going to try to figure that out in the next 20 seconds. But I think our guys are playing hard, and that's all you can ask.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
And a good shot to begin the fourth quarter. Shannon Brown. He's got, in this contest for Los Angeles, off the bench, 6. So it's Barnes, Odom, Blake, Gasol, and Brown for the Lakers.
Offensive foul there on Landry.
Landry, Paul, Benga, Bellinelli, and Trevor Ariza for the New Orleans Hornets. That's the third on Landry in a game which has seen Chris Paul put up a triple-double and Kobe score all his points, all 14 in the third.
Well, that's a weak call there. Very weak. But with these 2 second units predominantly on the floor for both teams, very critical for the Hornets to get something from their bench players.
Gasol is 4 of 8, goes up against his former teammate Benga. Shot clock at 6 for Barnes over Ariza. Lakers' first offensive rebound since 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Gasol now with 3 rebounds in the game. Barnes, Brown, shot clock at 6, double, Brown. Ariza taps it to Jarrett Jack in the game with Paul. Landry, Benga, and Trevor Ariza. Jarrett Jack against Gasol. 45% shooting for New Orleans. 47% shooting for the Lakers. A three by Paul.
Ball reversal, ball movement for the Hornets. When they can change sides with the basketball, something good is going to happen.
Lakers with only one starter on the floor. A turnover right there. Here comes Paul. That's the 7th by the Lakers. And inside, Ariza. Moments ago, Chris Paul.
Talking about ball movement and ball reversal. Chris Paul doesn't always have to be in the pick and roll. That's why you have Jared Jack, a combo guard. You put Paul in the weak side 3 corner, and you can get the basketball to him with that Laker defense focused in on Jack. Wide open 3 for Chris Paul.
On the line tonight, Ariza is 2 of 2. Second foul on Barnes. A look now at the upcoming NBA playoff schedule on TNT and NBA TV. Tomorrow, the Spurs and Grizzlies. Game 4, also Game 4, the Nuggets hosting the Thunder. And then Game 5 tomorrow on NBA TV with the Blazers riding high in that 23-point second half comeback as they beat Dallas to tie that series at 2.
I'm so curious to see how Dallas comes out after that devastating loss in Game 4. Up 23 points in the second half, 18 in the fourth. Nate McMillan and Brandon Roy just went to work.
Bynum is coming for Gasol. It's a foul on Landry, who picks up number 4. So 4 on Landry, 4 on Okafor. That's the foul problems for New Orleans. 4 on Bynum for Los Angeles. Of main concern right now for Phil Jackson.
Both of these teams shooting 46% from the field. To me, it's going to come down to stops. Who's going to limit each other on second shot opportunities?
Barnes fans. Rebound by Bynum. Shove, but no call. And then it's lost. Jack could not find the handle.
Possessions. All about possessions, especially when you're the underdog and the smaller team. Monty Williams understands if you give the Lakers 2 and 3, I don't care if Kobe Bryant nor Pau Gasol is on the floor, you can't do that against an experienced team.
Bynum over Gray.
Comes back to bite you. That's 3 looks that the Lakers had when easily the Hornets had possession on 2 of them.
10 points and 8 rebounds for Andrew Bynum. Moments ago, Willie Green checked in for Ariza. Jack knocked away. It looks like Gray may have twisted that right ankle, which he turned late in Game 1.
Yeah, it looked like he tweaked it.
Yep. Shot clock at 13. A screen. Jack over Bynum. Blake with the rebound. Jared Jack 0 of 4 in 8 minutes. Woodham's got 4 points and 2 rebounds in 17 minutes tonight for the Lakers. Lasers it in. Bynum. Rebound by Jack. A lot of traffic as he goes up court, and he is fouled on the play, tailed by Barnes and tailed by Blake. Barnes picks up his 3rd, 8:45 in the 4th, with the Hornets by 2.
Well, it shows you the importance of Game 4. Both of these teams are testing one another. You see Chris Paul took the inadvertent elbow to the eye, got a butterfly, and here's the 2 friends, Olympic teammates, going at one another. The hard foul there by Chris Paul. And what's interesting, read Kobe Bryant's lip. Yes, Chris Paul woke me up. We have a game here, ladies and gentlemen.
Chris Paul with the triple-double. 16 points, 13 assists, and 11 rebounds. Kobe taking a breather. All 14 of his points have come in the 3rd. In the 4th, approaching 8.5. New Orleans by 2. They've led by 9. Lakers have led by 9 in a game that's had 4 lead changes and 7 ties. Landry against Odom. Doubled by Brown. Good ball movement. Jack is over Brown. Offensive rebound by Landry.
Zone here. here with their size. Foul trouble of the bigs.
Willie Green is only averaging 4 points in this playoff series. Averaged 8 points in the regular season. Screen by Gray. Shot clock in 3. Green for 3. Willie Green off the bench. Hits the triple. New Orleans by 5.
Well, finally, dribble penetration. If you're going against a zone, you've got to get into the teeth, into the middle, suck that defense in, and you got to get timely three-point shooting. Willie Green, who has been struggling in this series, finally gets one to go.
Brown launching the triple, picked up by Landry. So Brown 3 of 6, Odom 1 of 6, Kobe 4 of 14, and Jack.
They want to run that pick and roll again with Jack, so Paul can be in the corner here.
Jack is 0 of 5. Chris Paul 5 of 10. Blake is on him. Foul, Blake. Count it! Paul's got 18 points for New Orleans. The foul on Blake.
Chris Paul putting on a show here, especially in the second half. Feels the contact from Blake. Gets the and one, and Monty Williams. We were going to ride our superstar. We wanted numbers not of that 33 and 14 like in game 1 with the victory. He was looking more towards 25 and 12. His line, 19 points, 14 assists. Oh, and by the way, 11 rebounds. Kobe leads the Hornets.
Kobe has come in for Brown. Ariza has come in for Jack. Here is Bynum inside on Gray. Bynum inside, trying to work with his 12 points. Foul will go on Gray. Picks up number 3. Andrew at the line in TNT this June. They're turning the courtroom upside down. This much fun should be illegal. Franklin of Ash series premiere Wednesday, June 1st at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, only on TNT. The free throw shooting in this game tonight, the Lakers have gone 16 of 22. The Hornets have gone 13 of 15.
That's something they struggled in, the Hornets, shooting free throws only 68% during this series. They shot 77 during the regular season. And I'm wondering, when is Phil Jackson going to come back with Ron Artest? I thought Ron has played a very efficient game through 3 quarters, 7 of 9, 16 points, electing to leave Matt Barnes on the floor.
Bryant is on Ariza. Blake is on Paul. Bynum on the switch is Chris. They hem him in and they force the turnover. Nice defense by the Lakers. Turnover number 9 for New Orleans.
Yeah, that's a nice wall formed there by the Lakers.
Odom charging into Landry. Picked up by Gray. Hornets on a 10-3 run after we were tied at 69. The screen by Gray. Ariza. Paul. Blake is there. Shot clock at 4. Chris Paul.
Not only are they being efficient offensively, but they're running time off that shot clock.
Kobe and Ariza. This ties the biggest lead for the Hornets in the game. Ariza and Green now working on Kobe. Here's Barnes, cross court. Blake, a 3. A big time hit by Steve Blake. 3-point shooting Lakers have hit 4. The Hornets have hit 4 from beyond the arc tonight in this game 4.
Paul elected to stay in the lane and help out. But at times know where Steve Blake is.
Green, the slash, slicing inside, picked up by Kobe Bryant. Kobe scored all 14 in the 3rd. Over 2 defenders. Wow, what elevation from Kobe Bryant. 16 in the game.
There's really not too much you can do about that. Kobe Bryant is doing a good job of just assessing what the defense is in transition.
Just like that, it's a 4-point game. 5 to play in the 4th. He's just been quiet in this second half with 19 in the game. Over Kobe. Rebound, Bynum.
And this is that stifling defense that the Lakers did in games 2 and 3 in the fourth period versus the Hornets.
Odom, 1 of 7. Barnes. That is a foul, and it's on the floor, and it goes against New Orleans. Barnes trying to work in. Green picks up his first personal foul. Chris Paul gives you a move with every part of his body. Knocking down the 2. He's got 21. Hornets by 4. He's got 16. Paul's got 21. Both teams shooting 45% from the floor.
Well, to me, someone other than Chris Paul is going to have to make a shot. We know that normally would have been David West, the leading scorer, as Ariza picks up a foul trying to guard Kobe. But they're trying to take the ball out of the hands of Chris Paul. So someone else is going to have to make a shot. Ariza was brilliant in that first half with 16 points, but only 3 here in the second.
Lakers have responded in the third quarter. The Hornets led by 9. Lakers went on a 13-4 run to tie. Fourth quarter, Hornets led by 9. Lakers on a 5-0 run to come within 4. And that's where we stand. Ariza watches Kobe blow by. That is a foul.
What a crutch to have a player at 6'7", 6'8", with handles like a point guard.
Okafor picks up his 5th.
Can just get into the lane and create, and get fouled, and makes free throws. Now the Lakers are in penalty for the rest of the game.
Bryant's game has been interesting tonight. First half, he didn't score, facilitating. Second half, much more aggressive with his shooting.
Well, according to Kobe, he was awakened by Chris Paul and all the tough plays as Kobe Bryant misses the first free throw. But you knew he was going to surface at some point. And Chris Paul, we were wondering, was that thumb affecting Chris Paul? Shannon Brown comes in for Ron Artest.
Well, also the hit in the eye by
hitting the eye, the
elbow of Artest.
And maybe that awoke Chris Paul. Some of the physical play.
Kobe from the line is 7 of 9. 17 a Laker high, 16 Artest, 12 for Gasol. Lakers on a 6-0 run, climbing to within 3. Okafor the screen. Landry against Odom. Shot clock at 5. Jack. Paul. Screen over Gasol.
Tough shot. Good defense by the Lakers. Really extending and getting to shooters.
Kobe on the fly. Rebound by Ariza.
Well, if you're Monty Williams, pick and roll has been your bread and butter. Carl Landry, one of these guys are going to have to make a shot. It can't be always Chris Paul.
Fisher fighting through screens, and inside going is Paul with a couple of shots coming his way. 3.5 to play in regulation. Good. Fisher picks up his second personal foul. They got Paul at the line, where tonight he is 5 of 5. One of the top 10 free throw shooters percentage-wise in the NBA, Chris Paul.
And to me, this is where the Hornets really struggled in games 2 and 3. They had a lot of opportunities to close the gap, but they kept missing free throws. In that game 1 win, they were 18 of 22. They were brilliant in that fourth period of shooting free throws. And you almost have to play perfect if you're going against the 2-time defending champs. You can't leave points off the table.
Five-point game. Paul with 23 and 10 have come here in the fourth. 5 of 16, Kobe Bryant. Foul, Paul. Number 2.
And the Lakers are at the free throw line again. Nice when you can get to the penalty and you. Right now, this is exactly what Chris Paul was trying to run Derek Fisher off the three-point line.
So here's Fisher at the line. It's so interesting in the playoffs, more so than even the regular season. Every game takes on its own personality.
And that's what I like. It's the minor adjustments, obviously, from the head coaches. And, you know, in game 1, it was all about the reserves and the brilliance of Chris Paul. In games 2 and 3, I thought the bench for the Lakers and Kobe Bryant returning to shooting form in game 3. And tonight it's been the triple-double of Chris Paul and the reemergence of Kobe in the second half after going 0-for in the first.
You just saw that the Lakers have taken 10 more free throws than the Hornets at the line tonight, approaching 3 to play. The screen by Okafor. Paul and Fisher. Gasol comes out. Shot clock at 7. Great defense by Fisher. Picked up by Artest.
I mean, I don't know if Derek Fisher could have played Chris Paul any better.
For the tie, Artest for 3. Odom with the rebound. Stripped inside by Okafor. Diving out of his jet. Timeout, New Orleans. Emotions are high. The Lakers trail by 3. Timeout. Louisiana, time for the Marines teamwork play of the game.
Well, Monty Williams is going to have to draw up something other than for Chris Paul, and someone else is going to have to make a shot. Willie Green right here from the dribble penetration of Chris Paul knocks down the long-range shot.
Well, Chris Paul has 10 of the Hornets' 14 fourth-quarter points. The Hornets, though, have grown cold. No field goals in the last 3.5 minutes.
Well, maybe this little break for Marco Bellinelli, who's coming in for Willie Green. He made one long-range shot already tonight. Trevor Ariza, who had 16 points at half, only 3 here in the second half. Someone else other than Chris Paul, because they're going to take the ball out of his hands.
Lakers in this fourth quarter shooting 31%. Bellinelli rejected by Gasol. Out of bounds, off New Orleans. Either way, the Hornets operating with just 1 timeout remaining.
Well, the right idea here by Bellinelli. You just checked in. Take the ball to the hole, but look at the length of the Lakers, and more importantly, in Pau Gasol with the block shot.
His 3rd block of the game. Kobe with 17, Paul with 23. Gasol 4 of 8. Derek Fisher for 2. Artest, the big-time offensive rebound. Kobe the fake and the triple. Gasol got a hand on it. Paul comes up with it. Foul, Los Angeles. Chris Paul has added to his rebounding total. He's now got 12 with his 14 assists and 23 points.
And how about Landry? I think it was that little hesitation that threw Kobe Bryant off his shot. I think if Kobe would have just pump faked and took 1 dribble in, he would have had even though it would have been a 2 instead of a 3, a better look. But I was thinking it was Carl Landry and that little hesitation that threw Kobe off that shot.
Pau Gasol picks up his 4th personal foul. Chris Paul at the free throw line is gone 8 of 8.
So now you're playing offense for defense. You've got Willie Green coming in for Marco Bellinelli, better defender.
Each team has not hit from the field in over 3 minutes. 2:03 to play in regulation. Lakers timeout. Down by 5. 5-5, about 2 to play in regulation. Hornets trying to tie the series at 2-2.
Well, if you're Phil Jackson, there's no time to panic. You know, it's 2 minutes left. Kobe Bryant has been brilliant in the second half, taking the ball aggressive to the hole. You've got the size and power. So you don't need to look for 3s right now. But you've got to step up your defense, because right now you know the Hornets are going to go pick and roll for the remainder of this 2 minutes. But if you're Phil Jackson and you have the ball right now, get the ball down low to Powell, because he has size. And size, they're going to converge that defense, and then they can look out and kick out for 3s.
Moments ago, here's what Monty Williams told his team in the huddle for the New Orleans Hornets.
We got to go make a play now. Come on. We got to go get this. That's what it's about right here. We got to go get it.
Talking about Monty Williams gave the guys off and went to church. That was a sermon right there, preaching to his team.
Odom is in for Bynum. Screen by Kobe. Fisher down the boulevard.
Take the ball to the hole. You don't need to settle for threes right now. Plenty of time. You get a chance now with the ball going through the hoop to set your defense.
10 for Fisher, 4 of 6. He's played 33 minutes.
Again, pick and roll.
Green. Kobe's on him. Shot clock is at 5. Oh, Kobe turned his ankle.
And committed the foul.
And bangs his way into Green. And down goes Bryant. 4 on Kobe. The concerned look of Phil Jackson.
Oof. Yeah, you see a little, there's a twist right there.
See,
yeah, he tweaked it.
He just stumbled into him. Yep. He stumbled into him. Kobe has had ankle problems this year, as well as shoulder and neck. Wow.
And this is why you always want to take care of business, because this is the one thing. Little tweaks and turns here from your best players. Chauncey Billups is out 2 games because of the knee. And Kobe Bryant is telling him, I do not want to come out. I do not want to come out. Shannon Brown was supposed to check in for him, and he doesn't want to come out. Phil Jackson imploring him to come over to the bench. Talk about a man who is a competitor.
Willie Green at the free throw line with 1:32 to play.
He's 0 of 2, now 0 of 3 in this series.
Head athletic trainer Gary Vitti visiting with Bryant. Lakers call time. Bryant is on the bench. The 2-time defending champs are down by 4. We're in the 4th. 1:32 to play in New Orleans. Moments ago, Kobe Bryant turned his left ankle. It is the same ankle that has caused him problems this season.
You see right here, just trying to defend Willie Green, and he tweaks the ankle, and because he was trying to come up, he just bulldozes Green, which sent him to the line where he made 1 of 2. Now, we know Kobe has played with numerous of injuries: fingers, shoulders, knees, ankles. There's one guy that can play through pain. It's number 24.
And he's back out now. How about this?
Well, you didn't think he was going. It started 0 of 7 in the first half. No points. 5 of 10 here in the second. But now less than 100% with that little tweaked left ankle.
If there were more time, they would tape it up, but that's the problem. There isn't a lot of time, but 92 seconds.
Yeah, but will Kobe have that same effectiveness of taking the ball to the hole? You don't need to settle for threes right here. Just under 1:30 left.
Our test, such a big factor in the first half. Quiet here in the second. Here's Kobe. Shot clock is at 9. Ariza defending. Bryant right through the hands of Gasol on a scoop pass by Kobe Bryant. The frustration showing. Wow. Gasol picks up his 5th personal foul.
I mean, bad ankle and all. Kobe did the correct thing right here. Okafor comes up. What a pass there by Bryant. Gasol just couldn't handle the pass. Hit him right in the chest. I mean, you couldn't have placed it any better on the 1-6.
How frustrated is he? And how frustrated is he?
For instance, if the Hornets do find a way to hold on, this is huge to tie this series up 2-2 with Game 5 going back. Now remember, this ankle is tweaked. He has to fly home tonight. So when you're flying, it's going to swell up unless he keeps it elevated and packed in ice.
You saw Bryant of looks could kill. Odom into Landry. Oh, Gasol across the lane. Got it! Big time shot right into Landry.
And that's exactly what Monty Williams and the Hornets did not need. Not only do you get fouled and get a chance to go to the free throw line, but you get a chance to set your defense and to make it a 1-possession game. Move here by Gasol, making up for that blunder of not catching Bryant's pass on the possession before. If you can knock this down, it's a one-possession game with a little over a minute left.
Shannon Brown is checked in for Kobe. Good rebound by Gasol.
You kidding me? There's no way the free throw shooter should get that rebound.
Okafor on Powell. On the doorstep, he couldn't get it to go. Another rebound by Chris Paul, taken away by Odom. But scrum.
It looks like the jump ball is going to be Lamar Odom and Carl Landry. It's all about possessions here if you're the Hornets. You force Powell into a tough shot right here. It looked like Ron Artest had the offensive rebound. But if you're Chris Paul, it's about getting that possession and getting out of traffic. Lamar did a good job of getting the ball, and that's why Kobe wishes he was in. Remember, they were going offense for defense. They were assuming that Powell was going to make that free throw, and they were going to come down with Shannon Brown at the defensive end. If Kobe Bryant would have been in and not subbed, he may have another shot at shooting the basketball.
Kobe is just checked in for Shannon Brown. Odom will jump against Landry. Ariza. Green into Artest. Nope. Interference. Wipe it away. Will not count.
Willie Green thinks he's going to have a wide open layup. Ron Artest does a fabulous job of contesting the basketball right here. And this easy. I don't know if that ball was off or still on the lip. Yeah, that's a good call there by the official. Ball was still on the rim.
Odom galloping, knocked away. Foul on New Orleans. Landry has 5. Was it on him? It was, and he is gone for the Hornets.
Think about how big that free throw was, that free throw miss of Powell was. If he makes it, you're down 3, and now Lamar Odom just got fouled. If he makes his, you'd have been down 1 with 33. So you know you would have been getting the basketball back. Now it's huge that Lamar knocked down these 2 free throws to close this deficit to 2.
You saw Aaron Gray check in. 2 of 2 from the line tonight for Lamar Odom. He's got 4. Two-point game, half-minute to play in regulation. Timeout, that's the last one. Burned by Monty Williams and the New Orleans Hornets. The Hornets' last 7 points have come from the line. They have not scored from the field in almost 6 minutes, yet they lead the Lakers by 2. As you can see, no fouls to give. 2-point Hornets lead, 33.6 to play in regulation.
Well, you have about a 9-second differential in this clock here. If you're Monty Williams and the Hornets, you know the ball has to be in Chris Paul's hands. You've got to be able to run your pick and roll. What I've liked is a lot of the misdirection that the Hornets have been doing. You see the numbers here of Chris Paul in the 4th period. But you've got to run as much time as possible off the clock before, if you're Chris Paul, before you go to work. Kobe Bryant, we thought he was going to be out for the offense-defense. He is on the floor for the Lakers. We know Phil Jackson as well on the flip side. He doesn't like to call timeouts in situations if they come up with the stop, so the Hornets can't set their defense if the Lakers do come up with the rebound.
Ariza will inbound. Jack, Jason Smith, Chris Paul. Okafor out there for the New Orleans Hornets. Artest, Odom, Kobe, Gasol, and Fisher for the Lakers.
With the Hornets, you can't panic or go quick on this possession. got to take your time. Derek Fisher is all over Chris Paul.
Freeze of the screen, the switch, and Kobe is on Paul.
And they wanted to switch because of the ankle problem of Kobe Bryant trying to guard Chris Paul.
Paul. Jarrett Jack! What a shot! 9 seconds to play. The Hornets by 4. Jarrett Jack's first field goal tonight is a big one.
What a time for Jarrett Jack to get his first field goal. Chris Paul does the right thing of taking the gimpy Kobe Bryant off the dribble. And how about Jack just slashing to the basket, getting the ball from Paul in a nice little 10-foot fadeaway to put the Hornets up by 4. Look, there's 4 purple jerseys in the lane. Jack does a good job of just slashing to the opening to get the ball from Chris Paul and knocks down his first field goal of the evening.
Jack in game 3 was 1 of 6. Tonight, Jack 1 of 6. Now it turns to Phil Jackson, his team down by 4, 9 to play. They'll have the ball.
Well, you do have 1 timeout left, so you can go for a quick 2 and start to play the foul game because you can get a timeout and advance the basketball. But we know Kobe has made big threes in situations like this. If you make a 3, no matter what the Hornets do, you can make it a 1-possession game. Jackson a lot of times likes to play inside out, especially with Powell, who's a very good passer for a 7'1" power forward. You can get the ball inside and a couple brush screens out front. Very much the same way Doc Rivers was able to get Ray Allen open in that game 1 on that little flare. Because you have guys that are great passers in Lamar Odom and Pau Gasol. You can find a Fisher or a Kobe Bryant. And if you're Monty Williams, you got to switch everything. Communication is key as we see the series schedule as it shifts for game 5 on Tuesday at Staples.
When Jarrett Jack hit that little 15-footer, the shot clock was at 1. With his dad in attendance, Jack, who has been a leader, has generated a terrific amount of emotion in this team. And watch it again with our test defending.
Look at Jack, just goes to the opening right there with no one guarding him. Gets the ball right out of his hand. It was almost basically a free throw shot. That's where he shot it from. And what did we talk about? Someone other than Chris Paul was going to have to make a shot down the stretch. And it happened to be Jarrett Jack. And you got the double high with Bynum and Gasol at the top of the key.
Inside Gasol and a quick 2-point game.
You can play the free throw game here. Remember, the Hornets have not shot free throws particularly well in this series, only 68%.
Ariza gets it into Jack. Jack has not been to the line tonight, and Artest picks up his second personal foul.
Well, what a play by Phil Jackson. All the attention, everyone thought the ball was going to Kobe Bryant as he was coming off that double high. You see the slip there by Powell. Emeka Okafor was assuming that Kobe was coming off, had his head turned, and a nice pass there by Fisher to go for the quick deuce.
Jack from the line is 8 of 11 in the playoffs. .120-second timeout waiting for Los Angeles. New Orleans is out.
How huge is this free throw right here? You want to put the nail somewhere. You don't want to give life to Kobe Bryant.
4-point lead, 7.2 to play. Timeout in New Orleans.
Well, if you're Phil Jackson and the Lakers with no timeouts left, you almost have to go for the three here, because if you go for a quick deuce and you're playing the free throw game, you don't have a chance to advance it after if there was a miss or make by the Hornets. So if you can go for a three here and play the free throw game, you can make it a one-possession game no matter what.
Fisher to inbound, and Chris Paul will defend the inbound.
Here's that double high again that Powell slipped and got the quick deuce.
Kobe, the triple. Rebound, Jack. Fouled by Fisher. 3.1 to play. Kobe with his third. And the Lakers, regardless, are looking at another trip back to Louisiana, back across the country, something they wanted to avoid at all costs.
Double high screen down for Kobe. He had a pretty good look at it, uncontested. Just shot it a little bit long. I'm not quite sure that ankle isn't throbbing a little bit.
Free throw shooting has been an issue for the Hornets in this series. From the line in the fourth quarter, 11 of 14.
Lakers don't have any timeouts.
Bynum will inbound. Fisher. And this series is tied at 2. We'll see you in Los Angeles Tuesday night. I don't think anybody had this on their radar, with the 2 seed, the two-time defending champs, taking on the 7th seed New Orleans Hornets.
Well, when you get big efforts from your superstar, in game 1 it was Chris Paul, 33 points and 14 rebounds. And in game 4, a triple-double, 27 points, 15 assists to go along with 13 rebounds.
Kobe Bryant finishes with 17 in 36 minutes after a scoreless first half. Let's go to Cheryl Miller.
All right, well, Jared, just take me through those 33 seconds, because you'll remain scoreless. You hit a big shot. Take me through that moment.
You know, we pretty much knew we was going to put the ball in Chris's hands. You know, he got in there into the paint, and I was just running there to try to possibly get in the tip end or something. And, you know, he found me, and I was able to knock down the shot.
You guys huddled there in the middle of the floor. What were you saying to each other?
That's just something we do after every home game. You know, we thank our Lord and Savior for just giving us this opportunity.
Thanks for your time. All right, Chris, big night for you. Triple-double, your second of the career in the playoffs. How special is this game, considering the magnitude of the game?
Man, it's huge for us. You know, we wanted to bring a win to our fans here in New Orleans. They deserve it. You heard it in here.
Yeah.
They deserved it. I'm just happy we could get this win, especially on Easter. Having my family here makes it even more special.
I know you and Kobe Bryant are good friends, but during the playoffs, there's no love there. You guys are battling each other.
No, he do me the same way. You know, and it's all in fun, but, you know, this is our livelihood. You know, I don't care if my mama was out on the court. I'd hit her too.
Well, talk about the big shot that Jared hit, because he had remained scoreless. What's up, Trevor? Great game. Great game.
Man, Paul. Man, you talking about Jay Jack?
Yep.
Man, that's like my brother. You know, me and Jay Jack didn't know each other since we was 12 years old. I think sometimes he knows me better than I know myself, so I was just thankful that he was there, because I was about to take a bad shot.
Now that the Stevens is here, even at 2 apiece, what kind of mentality do you guys go into Game 5?
Aggressive.
Yeah.
Aggressive. I think the good thing is that we know that we're capable of winning there. So we got to go out there ready to play. We know they're going to be hungry, but it's good to get the series back 2-2.
All right, thanks for your time. All right, Kevin, Reggie?
Note to Chris Paul, never hit your mother. But tonight, he was something else. Reggie, what'd you think?
Hey, if Chris Paul can play like that 3 more times, these Hornets have a shot.
The Hornets have tied this series at 2-2. Coming up next, it's Inside the NBA. For Reggie Miller, Cheryl Miller, and the rest of our crew, including producer Rodney Vaughn, our director Lonnie Dale, Kevin Harlan saying good night from New Orleans, Louisiana. You've been watching the NBA on TNT, exclusive home of the 2011 NBA Eastern Conference Finals. Now to the award-winning Ernie Johnson in Atlanta.